Can I say another one?
Yo, I want to talk to y'all about something. I'm talking to you niggas about niggas being fucking cowards and shit. Now I know a lot of gangster niggas be like, fuck you talking about?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we kill each other,
Nigga.
They're not the niggas oppressing us.
Right.
So I say, man, the guns.
Right. The guns, nigga. Let's go.
Yo, this Heru the first son. Walk with me, y'all. Check out my new audiobook, Cell Therapy, My Time on Rikers Island. Available on HeruTheFirstSon.com. It's my journal, my real-time thoughts when I was doing my bid on Rikers Island. No cap, no filter. If you want to check out a snippet, there's a link at the bottom of the homepage. Take you right to it. Yo, check me out, y'all. The realness. Peace.
Yeah, y'all, what's good? This is Heru the first son,
Yo, it's Nyriq.
and this is the father, the son, and the trolley ghost. Where I like to
Trolley
troll you niggas with the truth.
with the truth. Come on now.
Yeah. So today's subject, we're gonna dive into my experiences a little bit. Um, Nyriq, you were curious about what the prison a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty, I think, every black young male is pretty curious in prison. Not in a good way, but curious because we are always constantly faced with the fact that we might be there.
Yeah, and so many of us end up there. So yeah, a kid can't help but to be curious.
Can't help.
Um, it's all too a real a threat to not be curious about it for a young black boy. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, it gets to the point where you might like I know, I've even had times where I might have even tried to envision like how I would act in such a setting, and it's crazy that you would have to do that. That you would think as a person you would do that.
and this is something that just because of this, I only not even just because. The point is that this is just something you did,
Right, just something I did, just like
and you can only imagine why. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just that real for a kid. You know what I'm saying? It was something I did when I was young, like, cause it was always a threat. If maybe not in reality, in my mind, because I don't, and you know, the whys is I guess so many, and sometimes it's hard to say what is what and which is which. But yeah, this is happening. Yeah, there's a lot of programming going on TV, but then again, it's really happening on the street, and you seeing
you
it.
see it right in front of you every day. Like,
Right. So it's like, how can you deny the reality of it, even if it's not a threat for you as a right then for a young black boy? Like it's always there. So I remember like my case stemmed out of having a rifle. In This was in North Carolina, right? So this was a understand in North Carolina at the time, all you had to do was be 18 and you could walk into a Walmart and buy the kind of rifle that I had. It was a hunting rifle, but it was a semi-automatic rifle. I don't know. Call it what you want with the NRA and their lobbyists and shit. It was a replica AK, but it wasn't an AK. You know what I'm
I
saying?
I get what you're
It
saying.
was a it was a SK actually, which is legal
Mm-hmm.
for a person to have. And so you could have bought that in a Walmart at that time, and um, and then I had weed, like a quarter pound, right? But
Guns and
um,
drugs.
right, and the feds have different laws than the state, so I was actually somewhat responsible hustler. I had a lawyer that I had a good relationship with, and certain things together, but I was always strategizing on the state level, like, cause at the time I wasn't doing anything. I was selling weed, you know what I'm saying? And I had a gun in the house. Like, who doesn't have a gun in the house in the South, in North Carolina? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and so I never thought that this shit could go federal. So I wasn't never thinking about the like knowing federal law, right? So anyway, uh, without going through the whole story, I got a million stories, yo, and then there was a whole story behind that day that I got locked up because there was some interesting shit happening. But basically, my neighbor tipped the police off that and gave them this very vague description of a guy with dreads in a white car and blase splitters, but
Damn.
they knew what apartment. They gave him the apartment though. So yeah, came, got me, whatever, and this guy who was they had an ATF task force in Raleigh PD, right? ATF task force. So this fucking guy is scumbag. He's trying to make his bones with the ATF, and he's on my case, and he's just treating it like he got some kind of big fish going on and all this other shit. And so it goes federal, and it was also the politics of the time. It was
Mm.
9/11 had just happened, and the feds were just bugging out. They was snatching everybody up. If you was a crackhead with too much crack, you might go fed.
Might go federal that day. If I may ask, the year that they ran down on you, what year was that? Because you mentioned it was right after 9/11. I mean, I know it's not right after, but
Yeah, it was like 2002.
as my suspicion, because you went on a 2 year
2000.
2 year run.
Yeah, it was 2002, and then I got house arrest. I stayed in, and then I I and then I was able, and then I cut the I cut the house arrest band off
Oh shit!
and ran to New York, and I was on the run for like 2 years and shit. Cause I was like, your brother had just been born that year too, and I was pissed off that because I was planning on doing the right thing with that whole situation, like what I mean. Because again, of what I remember, we talked
Yeah,
about in the
yeah, yeah.
last
I'll be
one,
better than my
being a
daddy.
better daddy than mine. So I'm like, be a better daddy than my daddy, goddamn.
I'm
So
be there. I'm gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there for mine. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the world is cold, my nigga. But anyway, yeah, that shit was a trauma. Like, I was mad about that. So I'm like, y'all niggas gonna have to come get me if y'all gonna do that. And so I ran. I ain't saying it made sense. I'm just saying that's what I
It
did
made
because
sense to me at the time.
it
Like,
made
fuck
sense to me at the time. For me, it was an honor thing, I guess. It's like, man, I'm not walking. Yo, let me tell you what these niggas, because the feds do this thing right where they give you a PSR. They call it a pre-sentence report, and the probation office goes and they basically comb your life and come up with this report based on their opinion of how much of a piece of shit you are, based on your life history and your record and various places, and if you have various records, whatever. So these niggas were saying, so they sent me my PSI, and it comes with a recommendation for the judge of how much time you should get, right? So I get this shit. And this is where they fucked up. You don't tell me you about to do no stupid shit to me. Like,
right.
this shit came back, and they was pump faking too, because I don't think I would have got this much time if I didn't run. But they sent me the PSR this, and they always send you the time in months, right? This shit said 109 months, right? I'm like, well, that's not that long, is it? Wait a minute. Wait, there's 12 months in a year. Wait a minute. What the? That's almost 10 goddamn years. Hey, fuck.
Mm,
So I was like, what? Where is the blood? Where?
yeah.
What? I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't steal nothing that wasn't mine. Fuck out of here. I'm not walking into no courtroom for you to give me
Mm,
almost 10 years for just having a quarter pound of weed and just you found a rifle under my bed. Man, fuck you niggas. You gonna have to come get me. Like
right.
you gonna have to come get me. Like I'm not gonna walk into a courtroom like a lamb to the slaughter. That's how I was thinking about it in my head at the time.
Hmm.
I can't say I can say that the outcome wasn't ideal. I can
Outcome
definitely
was
say I can say it wasn't the right decision from that perspective, definitely. But from I'm a guy who feels honor very strongly, and that's something that a lot of people don't even understand anymore. But from a perspective of honor, I don't know that I was wrong, because, yeah, why would you walk into a courtroom and just let them do that to you? I don't know. I'm just not that passive. But anyway,
No, I
um,
feel it. I agree with the sentiment. I probably would have did the same. I mean,
nah, I mean, listen, let me tell you something. That shit was a six of one, half dozen of the other decision for me. That was a hard decision to make because neither one looked good. Trust me, like going on the run, like that shit is. I felt it like that. I knew it wasn't gonna be, and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I knew it wasn't gonna be easy, and it was because you can't make like, especially in the situation that I was in. I wasn't no big time nigga. Like I ain't have no bread. Like I had a little bit of bread stashed away. Like you can't make no money when you on the run. Like you got to lay low. Like you definitely can't get a job. I mean, unless you gotta connect. It's just you gotta live off the land for real. Then.
right.
So anyway, did that for about 2, 3 years. 2005, October 2000. Well, no, before that. I was in because I had when I went on the run. The first place I went was I went to Connecticut. I passed through New York. I think I seen a little bit of the family that I had in New York, and when I was transferring buses, but I was on my way to Connecticut. I went to Hamden. I had a cousin there that was in college, and he was like the RA of a college dorm, but
Mm,
this but this college dorm was like a house because this was like Connecticut, like this is bread. This was a college like where people with bread send their kids,
right.
and I hid out there for a couple months with him. He had like two white boys that stayed there with him, and they had this house to themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like I had to leave there, went somewhere. I went to Rochester, New York, and then I came to the city. I stayed in Rochester for the winter, came down for the city, and then, long story short, though, I ended up in the Bronx, got low on bread, and then I kind of made a desperate decision. There's these twins, these twin niggas from where was they from? Antigua. They had they had a candy store and they had a spot. Long story short, they asked me to. I I messed around and tried to mess with them on some hustling shit, and I caught a charge in the Bronx selling to an undercover. Knocked
Fuck.
me, and on Gun Hill Road. Boom, got
Damn.
locked up. But here's the funny shit. They locked me up. But for some reason, my prints didn't come back to identify me fast enough. So they thought I gave them a fake name and they thought it was my first time getting locked up. So they let me out the next day.
Mm.
And I kept, I was at large for another year.
Damn. Imagine that when they wake up the next day like, yo, y'all still got that dude. That dude is a whole live fugitive. Nah, we let that nigga go yesterday.
Yeah, somebody fucked. I don't know how that shit happened because I thought it was over.
You thought
I thought it was over, nigga. I thought it was a rat rooski, nigga. But they fucked around, let me out. I got out. I was
damn.
at law. So when they actually got me. I was in Brooklyn, stop and frisk, TNT day. I was right around my home neighborhood, but
Mm.
I had been gone for so long, nobody knew me. But yeah, not nobody, but not a lot of people. But they ran down on me. I had a little weed on me and a knife, but this time my prince came up before yeah, immediately when I got to the station, it was like, oh, you got a federal warrant on you, yeah. I was like, all right, so had to go to the island,
Damn.
and so well, actually, let me see what happened. Where them niggas took me first? They took me to yeah. I went to the city court first. You know what I'm saying? Niggas sentenced me. Um, because I went to the island. I went to the island that day, matter of fact. So that's where it started. But then they sentenced me and all that, and I had to do a. They remembered the shit that happened before in the Bronx. That shit was on the record too. So
Oh yeah.
they was like, yeah, yeah. So you're gonna do a bullet on the island for that shit, right? And then you're gonna answer for this federal warrant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right. So so I go to the island. Now understand something. I have been in the South for years, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I left New York. I was still in high school. My mom's moved down south, so I hadn't been in New York in years. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I don't know none of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like this, like literally, Nas got this track called Nas is like being locked down on the island. No, being locked down around new faces and none of them fam, right? That's a real ass situation. Um, and I had been in jail in Raleigh before, but again, this shit might as well have been I was getting locked up somewhere you never been before, even though that was home. So yeah, that first, and then I had that whole federal shit behind it, right?
Right.
So it was like that shit was it was just depressing, I think is what I want to say.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean,
it,
I can
it,
imagine.
it, it throws a nigga whole shit off. It threw my whole shit off. Like my first couple months on the island, man, I really wasn't myself because it was a lot to process all at once. And you got to understand when you be in them environments like that, like it's a that predatory shit is going. Niggas is looking for weakness. So when you looking off, you know what I'm saying? If you
Right.
let that shit throw you off, that can fuck around and make you a target. And that's ended up being what happened with the situation. One of the early on, because I had gotten into it with these blood niggas early on.
Right.
So
Yeah, I remember. I do remember you detailing that in your audiobook, right?
right, see, because here's the thing: when after I had that situation go on, Like I was really, really down then, cause I felt, like humiliated and shit, and I was still processing everything, and then like straight up, niggas fucked me up, bitch. Niggas got off, you know what I'm saying? Like nigga looked like the Elephant Man after that shit happened. Like I think the nigga had somebody had either fractured or broke my jaw. You know what I'm saying? That shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause my shit was
Oh,
fucked up for a minute, but I didn't never go to the infirmary. Cause if you go to the infirmary, now they're gonna be pressing you to tell them who did what, and then it's like if you don't tell them, you gotta go to the box. And I was trying to avoid all of that shit, so I'm like, yo, I just held that shit down and my shit healed up. Luckily, right. But yeah, my shit was fucked up
yeah.
after that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, um, after that shit happened, that's when I started journaling, right? Because I was
Mm.
down and, I was really me, let me tell you something about me, man. I ain't never really been no gangster, nigga, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on gangster, but I have been a revolutionary my whole life. And that shit sometimes get confused because they look kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga not soft, but trust me, I let a lot of niggas slide that probably should have been killed in my life because I have principles. Like I ain't in the you know what I'm saying, doing foul shit to people. You know what I'm saying? Especially not my people. You know what I'm saying? But I had to redefine what that means over time.
Over time, right? 'Cause, yeah, all skin folk ain't kinfolk.
There you go. So anyway, with all of that shit that happened, you know what I'm saying? I was journaling. I was really disappointed in my people, and I was journaling a lot. Like I read like the journal, and this is how it opens, cause that had just happened, and this was just how I was feeling. Right, this is my
Hmm.
first entry. My first entry is Thursday, December 8th, 2005. It says, "It is a terrible feeling to realize after losing everything dear to you that your cause is futile. My people have disappointed and betrayed me so many times now that I've come to
Don't
hate them.
hate them. Yup.
I see now that in their present mentality, my people do not deserve freedom. Not only do they not deserve freedom, but they themselves are primarily to blame for their own lack of advancement since the ending of institutionalized slavery. The temptation to sabotage one's own kind and to take one's frustration out on the people closest to one, these are demons that can only be vanquished within oneself."
Man. Yeah, no, I felt that. I felt that definitely when you said that. When I first heard that, I was like, man, because that's my exact feelings to an extent. Niggas is disappointing. You
Yeah, man. Niggas like my prison experience changed my whole Afrocentrism. It changed the character of my whole blackness. Cause I'll be honest with you, man. Like that shit, prison. I came out of prison. Prison was like everything. It was like I was very disappointed in men. And when I came out of prison, I said to myself, I'm only messing with women from now on. And then they showed me like they ain't shit neither. So now
know.
it ain't no better, if not worse. So now I'm just disappointed in humanity and shit.
Now my nigga a monk. Now my nigga a monk. Now.
Nah, I ain't gonna do all that, but but I ain't fucking with folk like that either. Like, there's only so far we can go together, and then we have to part ways. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's facts. Yeah, one of the things I
But
remember you telling me is as long as you can trust the motherfucker, as long as your goal is aligned, as far as that goal
yes,
is.
that is a very important lesson that you need to learn. And for anybody who's watching the podcast, pick the lesson, pick this jewel up. You can trust any motherfucker as far as y'all goals are aligned and no further.
No.
And that goes for everybody. And understand the opposite is true. You can't trust nobody. I'm talking about you can't even trust your mama if her goals ain't aligned on some level with your own. Like,
Yep.
and to illustrate that principle, think about motherfuckers deciding to rob a bank. You make up the plan. Everybody gonna do their part to get that bag.
Everybody doing it.
But once the bag is gotten,
Niggas start looking
you,
around.
you already know what the next chapter looks like, okay?
Man, yeah, that's crazy. So, I guess we can move next. I wanted to, because I remember you was talking about, still back on the revolutionary tip and everything. You was talking about how you was able to see how old heads have lost, you know, the fire, and then you also started detailing the way the gangs was running the jails and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing that you gotta know when you go into there, especially like Rikers Island, that shit is heavy blood influence, heavy blood influence. At the time that I was there, excuse me, at the time that I was there, I'm not sure. I don't even want to know what's going on there now.
I don't
But
care. I don't care.
I don't fucking care. But at the time I was there, heavy blood influence. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, you know, the way that that whole situation with me getting into them unfolded in the first place was, you know, I had hair back then, and I didn't want to cut my shit when I went in there, so I would get it cornrowed or braided when I could, cause there's usually when you locked up, there's always niggas around, and they don't even be all gay and shit. Some of them do though, but most of them, a lot of them just be dudes hustling. Probably grew up with sisters. They know how to braid and shit, and they just use the skill to get their stamps, so they could go to commissary and all of that shit and hustle and get their little shit. So I had one of these blood niggas knew how to braid, and I let him braid my shit, and so I owed him a couple items on commissary day, and so we go down to commissary and shit. And for some reason, my shit was the last ticket they pulled that day or whatever. So, and he there with me, waiting on his shit. So we last two niggas leaving out. For some reason, they let the whole unit go back to the unit without us because they were tired of waiting for them to pull my shit. And so we walk in the back and I'm still green at this time. You know what I'm saying? And we walking back through the halls now, and this nigga just says to me, "Hey, let me carry a bag for you." And I'm like, immediately I'm thinking that shit is strange, but of course I'm still green and shit, so I'm like, all right, here you go. I don't know why you want to do it, but
I
it's
don't
just
know why
stupid,
you want to do
just stupid as hell.
it. When you
but,
say it
but
back out loud now, it's like,
mhm. Yeah, because I just look back and I'm like, that was really dumb. But at the same time, you gotta think about it. We walking through the hallways of OBCC or Rikers Island. This is places where you gotta be lined up if you with your unit, and there's guards and there's metal detectors, and But for some reason, because of when we got done with commissary and when they let me out, uh, there was nobody out there. So this nigga gets the bag, and then he do some old kitty shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be saying niggas be playing too much, man. But he start run off with the bag, right?
that
running
nigga run
down the
off with
hallways, running down the hallways of OBCC. I'm like, this nigga's about to get us fucked up out here. So he running down the hallway, running past metal detectors and shit. I'm running after this nigga, shit. Um, and we got to go into the stairwell to get up to our unit and shit. So I corner him in this stairwell, right?
Mm-hmm.
grab my bag and kind of get aggressive and muscle that nigga. Like, get my shit, nigga. What the fuck is you doing? You playing this
Right.
shit.
Right.
Play too fucking much. Niggas be playing too much. And this is a bitch ass nigga, right? So now his feelings is hurt and shit. He feel like, what the fuck did you expect was about to happen, nigga? You know what I'm saying? So
Took
he
someone else's
instead
bag.
of instead of being the gangster that I guess he thought he was because he was a blood and shit, and you know, you feel like you want to take a nigga shit, let's go right here in the one on one. He go run inside and basically sit the dogs on me and shit. So that's how that shit happened. And so one thing you gotta understand about what I was starting with, one thing you gotta understand about how a unit run when you in there and you dealing with the gang dynamic is that you know it could be a unit, 50 men in there, 50 cells, 50-man unit, and 5, 7 kids come in and they all blood. And so they all got that little fake ass loyalty. Like if one of them get into it, all of them get into it, right? They
Mm-hmm.
gonna control that house. They gonna control all 50. They gonna control the whole rest of the niggas in the house. 43 other niggas, they controlling that because you gotta think about it when you dealing, especially on the jail level, not on the prison level, but on the jail level. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Everybody, most of these niggas just trying to get through whatever fucked up experience landed them there that day,
Right.
or that week, or that month, or maybe even the years that they have to be there. They're just trying to get through it and go home. Um, so they ain't about to involve themselves in more than anything they got to. And so them kids will control the house, or the men will control the house who have the gang. And so that's how the blood shit even got popular on the island, you know? Because before that, it was just Latin King. If you was Spanish, you was Latin King, and them niggas was tearing niggas up. Before the nigga from the West Coast came over there, I ain't even going to, I don't even remember his name all the way, and I don't want to misquote nothing. But he came over, they say the legend is he went on the island, and niggas gravitated to that shit quick. He came on the island with his flag. That's how the blood got heavy. He came
Mm.
on the island with his flag. Niggas gravitated to it quick. And so when kids would go find themselves on Rikers Island, when black kids would find themselves on Rikers Island, they would blood in, they would blood up, and then they come home blood and it spread to the street like that.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So that's where that whole, niggas
Yeah.
running it from prison thing come from.
That's the legend in New York of how that shit happened. And then here's the underground legend that most people don't know is how Crip really took hold in New York. Cause Crip niggas got strong, but they got very specific strongholds in New York. It's Flatbush, you know what I'm saying, and it's um certain parts of Harlem. Well, but Flatbush is the heaviest stronghold for the Crips, or where it was when really shit started like that. And and you know why that shit happened like that?
No, why?
And this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but there's always been in New York, there was always a little bit of underlying tension, just a little bit of underlying tension between niggas from the islands and niggas from Africa, you know, foreign niggas
Right.
and American niggas. And Jamaican niggas and all that, like, cause they got heavy, and there was a period of time in the '80s where niggas was scared of Jamaican niggas, like the shower posse age.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Um, so motherfucking when all the American niggas started coming home blood, and all these American niggas started blooding up in the hood, all the island niggas was like, "Fuck it, then we gonna crip up, nigga."
Oh
So,
man.
and you gotta understand, Flatbush is like all island niggas. Like that's like heavy. That's where all mad islanders really landed. You know what I mean? So, and even when at the time on Rikers Island, like the island consists of a lot of different buildings. Bloods dominated damn near pretty much every building, every unit, every building. But one building they put all the Crips, like the Beacon. The Beacon was where all the Crips were, and so that led to me having kind of a greater respect for it, because I didn't have. I had, because of that shit that happened with the blood niggas and then certain other shit. I didn't have more extreme issues with them niggas, but I used to observe a lot of the shit that they used to do on the island, and I ain't really like, I ain't really like them niggas like that because I thought they was bullies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, and I had more, I had more respect. If I see a Crip nigga that held his flag when he was, if you see a Crip, especially in that age, if you saw a Crip nigga that held his flag and didn't drop it, and he went to the island, he went through the system and came back and he never dropped his flag, yo, that's a real ass, that was a real ass nigga.
That was a real ass. Yeah.
Cause trust me,
Facts.
he been through a lot of shit holding that flag. Like, yo, but if you found yourself anywhere else than the Beacon and you was Crip, you was from Flatbush, man,
Man,
drama, nigga.
that's something right there. That's something. So
Yeah.
like, along with the with the gang influence, you would say like well, obviously we could assume they had like control over shit, everything. You know, time. What like phone? What was the perks you had? Like phone calls, TV, snacks. Those are perks, I guess.
One one thing about jail, man, that shit is designed to like regress your ass into childhood. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot. So there won't be a lot. You know, it's just like the food. You know what I'm saying? Food becomes a big thing for you. TV becomes a big thing for you. Um, and then whatever other, of course, whatever little perks you niggas be getting into that joint. You know that of course that's luxury items. You know, you can get a little smoke. You know what I'm saying? Or in the feds, niggas made wine and shit. So you know, you get that type of shit. But um, on the island with the gang influence, they did. All right, so they had this thing that they did right, and like these niggas would be running the house, and they had this thing on the island, the administration or whatever, called the house gang. So they would pick a couple inmates that after lock-in, their job was to clean up and kind of straighten up before they locked in, right?
Hmm.
So with the gang influence, and then also house gang would like in the morning they when the food comes up for the whole unit, they'll be they'll be the first niggas to touch it and they'll distribute it in the morning,
Oh shit.
right? So that's
Oh
what
shit.
that's what house gang did. And so the blood niggas they would dominate, of course, and dominate and monopolize the house gang positions in a kind of a deal with the COs, like the COs. And this is what I started to see on the island. Like these niggas with the COs, they kind of used them niggas to help control the house. These niggas got to where, like, this was the bitch ass shit I seen when I was there. These niggas, the house gang niggas, would be locking niggas in. Like, lock-in time, like, yo, y'all need to go get in your cells, clean. Like,
Oh shit.
matter of fact, the doors didn't close. It wasn't the feds, so they controlled it from the bubble. But yeah, they tell niggas get inside so they could close the doors. I'm
Wow.
like, what? Y'all niggas, you know what I'm saying? So in the book, maybe I'll read this quote, but in the book I was talking about that because I was like, yo, that shit that shit was very distasteful to me. I'm like, yo, hold up, nah, with my ancestors, I'm not like. I'm not a CO. I don't lock nobody in. That's y'all niggas do that shit. What the fuck?
Right. I would
That's
if
how I
I'm an
feel.
inmate, I wouldn't be telling no other
Right.
inmate to go into the cell.
Hmm.
I'm house gang. All I do is house gang shit. I don't do CO
I'm
shit.
over here is mopping. Like y'all niggas need to come in here and make these niggas get out my way. I'm not about to do that.
Right.
But this is the revolution. This is the difference between thinking you gangster and you revolution. Like I'm for the people. Like I ain't trying to or at least at that time, that's how I thought. My mind state has evolved some, but you know what I'm saying. I realized that revolution don't mean everybody just get to do what the fuck they want to do. But that's another subject for another day.
Yeah, wasn't
Anyway,
there like a term that you had said or coined between like a term between the gangs and the COs? What was it that you said again? I forgot.
yeah, fucking CO ass niggas. Hold up. It's in this quote here. I said, it's Saturday, December 10th, 2005. It seems that my being jumped by the Bloods has drawn a certain amount of sympathy, or maybe pity, from both the COs and the inmates who know me. I've been hearing a lot of talk lately, mainly amongst the older prisoners, about the loss of inmate unity in these current times. As I examine the situation, I believe that the gang influence may be the reason for the fragmentation in the inmate populace because it breaks prisoners up into 3 or 4 categories: Bloods, Crips, Latin Kings, and Neutrals mainly, none of which are very fond of the other, instead of it just being inmates versus their jailers. The gangs tend to focus their aggression on neutrals, and in the process of trying to control the house, end up working for the COs. In exchange, COs allow them to monopolize extra food, phone time, and other minute perks.
Mm,
CO ass niggas and trustee ass niggas, I call them. House niggas in disguise. Punks posing as gangsters. Or maybe that is gangster, but it damn sure ain't revolutionary.
right. Damn sure isn't.
You
Yeah.
know, that kind of illustrates, you know, for me the difference because, there was a time where and the shit got lost, but niggas wasn't hard just for the sake of being hard. They
Right,
were
because
hard.
that's what it is now.
Yeah, what you hard for? Like, what if there wasn't nothing going on? You still gonna be hard? Like,
Yeah.
and the answer to that is actually yes, but not aggressive because there ain't nothing going on, homie. Like,
Right.
chill, like, but niggas is hard for a reason. Like, we got a struggle that we dealing with, and everybody seem to have forgotten that shit. Like, and the character of it really, like, because they done mixed it up with so many other people's bullshit struggles, right? That they don't even like, and yeah,
I
we
think it's
we already
that
know this.
and consumerism. But yeah.
Yeah, well, the consumerism is the trick. You see, these niggas don't understand, man. Y'all, these niggas be out here acting like monkeys. They say that the way to trap a monkey is put something shiny in a hole that's big enough for him to stick his hand in, but
But
too small for him to pull his fist out.
yep.
And that motherfucker will sit there and let himself get caught, cause he don't want to let go of that little shiny thing in there. That's what they say.
Right.
Right. That be nigga problem. Like, you get, especially these hoes out here. They entice you to with all kind of consumerism to pick up all kind of causes and shit like that. You don't even know it's consumerism. You thinking that you thinking that you trying to do something good and this and that, but you you giving your money to what and whom? And you
Exactly.
going out and supporting what and whom, and then you turn around and you not supporting what and
Mm.
whom.
Mm. Come on now.
You want to go? Y'all got you. you got this whole, I need to be free. Shit, free from what? Free to do what?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but with that, how that shit plays out with the prison shit, I went from there to the feds, and from once I got through the island experience, that was like training camp. That was like boot camp.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the feds was smooth for me after that experience. And the funny thing is this, you know, it's not that the feds is sweet at all, but an old timer told me this early on in my bid. But he told me, and he put it in terms of the difference between the juvenile unit and the units where there's grown men. He was like, if you go to the juvenile unit, you're gonna see shit happening all the time. Fights, niggas cutting each other face, all this
Mm.
other shit. But it really ain't shit. Like, it's just static and shit. He said, grown man units, they gonna be calm. You're not gonna see shit going on all the time. But when you see something going on,
Mm.
it's gonna be serious, and somebody is probably gonna be like serious
Yeah,
casualties.
like it's gonna be dead,
Yeah, yeah,
traumatizing type shit.
right. Yeah, no. Um, Somebody probably died because niggas, when you grown, you just take it to the full extent, and um, that's kind of the difference between jail and prison, or the difference between the island and the feds. Is like island niggas getting beat up all the time, shit happening. You walking down the hallway, you see niggas with black eyes online and shit. It's like, shit going on all the time. But when you go to, and the thing about it is, there's a difference between jail and prison. And I had to figure, me being the thinker, I understood the concept after meditating on it. It's when you get into jail, you got a bunch of people that just came in out of court. They just got their charge. Whatever happened just happened in their life, and they just getting in jail. And they all just dumped in there together. They don't know each other. If you understand the nature of men and the nature of animals, you know what I'm saying. The first thing that got to be established is who's
It's
running shit
dominant.
here.
Yep,
Right, so you're gonna have a lot of jockeying and a lot of, you know what I'm saying, and so you see more like fights and shit, drama happen in jail.
that makes sense.
Prison is different. When you go to the pound, when you go to the compound, to the prison, to the yard, you know what I'm saying. You going a bunch. You going amongst a bunch of niggas who known each other. They've been in there together for years. You know what I'm saying? Niggas know who's the killers, who's the suckers, who's the homo, who running what car, who's running with who. The niggas understand there's a social framework that's set and it's in
Hmm.
place and it keeps things stable. You know what I'm saying? Nigga know not to run up on SA over there because he's fucking Mexican mafia and every Spanish nigga in this place will jump on your ass if you do. So this shit just don't happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Niggas know that's the imam over there and every Muslim nigga in here is gonna get on your ass if you touch that man. So it don't happen. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that is how it's going down in there. So that shit is a different zone. So again, you don't see shit happen that much, but when something happen, it be
It's very,
serious. Like they
very.
they locking this shit down. Like if it, and Fez is like everything is a gang. You know what I'm saying? Everything is a gang. The first thing that even if you're not in a gang, when you walk in there, the first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna look at your shit and say, 056. Oh, you 058? Oh, that's Charlotte. Oh, you 058. All right, you over there. Your niggas is over there. Yo, go holler at them.
Oh
What's your paper?
shit.
Yeah, you got your paperwork or you don't got it, make sure you get it in 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Or you nigga, something bad might happen to you. And this how I go down. And it depends on the security you're at. Because if you in low security, the camp, certain mediums, depending on how niggas is serious niggas is on there, maybe you could slide by. A lot of niggas is sliding by with their paperwork. They ain't told. It always niggas on there. Everybody know told and all that shit. But that's just basically how it goes down. And depending on who's in your car, what's going on, and certain shit, like you may have. And then more than anything, it depends on you. Are you
Right.
coming?
Are
Are
you
you
coming right?
how you coming? Are you straight? Is your paperwork straight? Do you got character? Shit like that. Like you have a better time or a worse time in that bitch. But yeah, man. Like so, niggas come in there and if like nigga from one car get into it with a nigga from another car and depending on how like if people from two different races get into it, if a black nigga and like a Spanish nigga have a fight, yeah, they might lock the whole compound down.
Oh shit.
Especially depending on who they are
Right.
and shit, and they do the investigation. They like, nah, y'all got
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying? Because they might not let niggas out. Because, a certain fight go on. Like, if it go on in the unit, they might just lock the unit down because they can contain it.
Right.
If it going on the yard or some shit, they might have to close the compound down because they always trying to contain it. They trying to not let the word get out so niggas get up in arms. They be trying to make sure niggas don't mob up. And then, it's a different world, bro.
No, that's definitely.
But it be serious though. So when something happens there, it's more serious.
Word. Word.
That's
Yeah, I
real shit.
remember you was talking about just to follow up on like how you coming. You spoke about a Trinidadian kid who was getting jumped on because what he was looking a little bit too victim like or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about with how you coming when you yeah. So here's the thing. This is the funny thing, man. I noticed and there was a couple other niggas that I met or observed, even in the feds, that just some niggas be decent niggas and they just have a rough time in there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the Trini kid, no, he wasn't even Trini. He was Belizean. He's from Belize. And
Mm.
he had the cell next to mine and he was a real mild mannered dude, mild mannered kid, you know what I'm saying? Didn't really bother nobody. I ain't see him doing no snake shit or no fuck shit, but he just seemed to draw aggression. Like I remember one day nigga was walking down, I'm down at a table playing cards and shit. This nigga walking, one of these blood niggas, I don't know what was on his mind. He was stressed out about something, his bitch or whatever, and he just hit this nigga and knocked this nigga the fuck out. But it was
Damn.
some, but it was some faggot shit because he ain't even see it coming. Like he was just walking by the nigga and he just decked that nigga out of nowhere. And niggas, even the rest of the niggas was like, "Yo, like, yo, what you doing? Go da 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 da."
Yeah.
And he used to sit at the table where I sat at, where we was sitting sometimes to play with us. So we kind of seen that nigga on the ground trying to. I don't know how many times you see a nigga get knocked out, but when they knocked out, they not all the way knocked out. They trying to get it together. They look like they got cerebral palsy or some shit.
No, I think I've seen a video or two of that shit. That shit funny.
Yo, niggas went over there and tried to help the nigga up, man. But and then them niggas was like, cause I used to in this unit at this particular point in time in my bed, and on Rikers Island, I was fucking with some Spanish niggas, so I was sitting over there with the Spanish niggas. So it was the Spanish niggas table. So now the blood niggas was like wary of all of us, cause they thought I was down with them and all that. Which I wasn't. but
Yeah.
we was just honestly, it wasn't even the Spanish niggas table. It was just because that house was overwhelmingly blood at that time. And they didn't, them niggas wasn't even on no shit. Like, they just happened to be Spanish niggas that happened to be there and trying to get the fuck out.
Oh man.
And we was all just some guys over there that neutrals basically. They call niggas 550s, but neutrals. And we was just over there at the table where they like, oh, Spanish nigga, you know, you didn't hit that. Cause the Belizean nigga, you know, he looked black, but he didn't look all the way black. He looked like he could have been a Spanish black nigga. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but that shit blew over. But yeah, that shit was dumb. Like, the fuck
He
you
was
think he
he
think?
was the same one they was like hating on or whatever you said or something like that, right?
That, huh?
I
That,
think I remember you was in the audiobook you was saying they was hating on a group of blood members was hating on a young kid, and you said it wasn't nothing crazy, but
oh nah, that was a different unit. But it was it was another one of them situations because when you not one of these gangs, you be sitting at a table and it be a bunch of niggas that ain't gang members. You know what I mean? So there's a bunch of 550 niggas over here. We was just playing crazy eights every day and shit like that. And it was a Trini kid that was that I met first.
mm,
And that's that part. That's why you had thought the other kid you switched up.
mm,
But yeah, that Trini kid, like we got to playing, and then a couple other a couple other neutral niggas started to come and sit with us every day, and then one of them just came with them bad vibe things, man, and started hit upon Trini, man. Like bad
crazy
mind niggas, yeah. But you know, it was just some petty bullshit, really. I wasn't even in that unit too long,
word.
but yeah,
If
that
I
shit.
from if for my detail of listening, I would say your best. I mean, I guess no best experience in there, but you had a more you had a more pleasant experience once you got into your groove in Five North. Would I say that? Because what? I mean, you could say which place you preferred better, but you seem to rock well with the guys at Five North. At least that's what you said.
Yeah, that was the Trini kid and all of them. I was in Five North, but I didn't get to stay there that long. I went to that unit right after Three North. Three North is where I got into it with the blood niggas, and it was
Mm,
crazy because these niggas, the court had me doing a year city time. And if you know anything about how they sentence you, when they say a year city time, they break that down to 8 months, and they call that a bullet on the island at that time. Um, so, but somehow my paperwork was fucked up, and they thought I had a year and a day state time, and the administration on the island kept trying to send me up north, but every time they tried, something would stop them with the paperwork because they know I didn't have that, and then they would have to. So that I kept getting pulled out of units, brought to what is it, C-73, I think, or C-74, where they usually send you up north from. I don't remember which, but they kept trying to send me over there, then they would get denied, and then I would have to come back and basically put me back into the system in OBCC, and then I would end up in a new unit, right?
right.
So just so happened that the day I got jumped, uh, them niggas they pulled me out the unit to go try to send me. Cause they was doing two things. Now that I remember, this shit was crazy. Cause they kept doing both things. They kept trying to bring me to the six building to do the city time. That would get
Mm-hmm.
denied, and then they would try to bring me to the C-74 to send me up north. that would get denied. They would try to send me to C-76 back to the 6th building. That would get denied. And they did that for like half of the time that I had to do there. So I kept switching units in OBCC.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that day that I got jumped, they ended up trying to send me to C-76, I think, that day. And them niggas got scared because they thought when they called my name and I had to. As a matter of fact, it was a bad situation for all of us because I was lumped up bad. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of try to hide my shit so the COs wouldn't see that I was lumped up coming out the unit. Because then if they see that, they're gonna
They'll
press me to tell.
put you
You
in the
know,
infirmary and want you to
they
tell,
gonna
right?
press me to tell, and if I don't tell, then they gonna send me to the hole and all of this dumbass shit. And I'm trying to keep it on the low, but these niggas think that I told about what happened. So they like looking at me with their eyes like this as I'm walking out the unit, but there ain't nothing they can do because the COs is waiting for me to get to the door. And they just like you all right? Everything good? Cause there was this one nigga who really set me up to get jumped, but he didn't really do like hit me too much. But he one of them frenemy ass niggas acting like, oh, I ain't, I ain't, I ain't want that to happen and da 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 da. Yo, you all right and all that, trying to act like he looking out for me after this shit happened. Yo, just stay in the cell. We gonna bring you your food and all of that shit. And I'm like, all right, man.
This is a guard that you're referring to, right?
No, this is
No,
another one of these
this is
black
another
niggas.
inmate.
Yeah. This is because what I would have to explain exactly how they set me up for this shit. But um, after the nigga with the shit with the commissary bag and shit, I went in, I put my commissary in my room, and niggas started talking about, yo, you gotta give us your commissary. I'm like, I'm not giving you shit. And so one of these niggas came over here, nigga named Cash from Brooklyn. He came over. He started trying to politic with me, like, yo, well, let me try to talk to these niggas and see if I could. And I'm like, yeah, because da 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 da. And while I'm talking to them, these niggas are sneaking up behind me.
Mm.
Yeah. So then when I hear, my spidey sense get the tingling. So I turn around, I'm about to get ready to get busy, and this nigga Cash grabbed me from behind and got my hand. And them niggas, and then these niggas and then the nigga Cash tried to pull me into the cell, right? So I'm trying to stay out of the cell. And these niggas is hitting me the whole time, and I can't put my hands up because I'm trying not to get pulled into the cell.
Right.
The shit was fucked up. The niggas did it right because the nigga grabbed my hands, and that was like the crucial element right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Right.
how you jump a nigga. Like you gotta have, cause I seen niggas jump niggas, and the niggas is hitting each other. They ain't no organization.
Them niggas had the
They-
whole organized structure.
yeah, they pulled me. They pulled a number on me because the nigga distracted me and the niggas rolled up behind me. So that's how that shit happened. So when the niggas pulled me out the unit, Cash is like, yo, cause he think he really a bitch ass nigga, cause that's some bitch ass nigga shit to do anyway.
To
So
be the
he's
one
worried
holding
about
the
me.
nigga.
Yeah, like, if we getting busy, go ahead and hit me, but don't. But you know what? I ain't even gonna say nothing. It's just a war technique, whatever. But you still a bitch ass nigga, cause he was worried about getting told on and shit. And
Mm.
I wasn't intending on telling on niggas, but I did know my shit was fucked up, and I didn't know how I was gonna get through all these intakes without them niggas noticing. And they noticed, and they tried to press me, but I'm like, listen, yo, I'm trying to go home. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you who did nothing. Just send me to the next place. And the bitches relented and they ain't locked me up. So they sent me through everything. I made it back. I made it to the next unit. And I just got to that 5 North and I just stayed inside for like a couple weeks till my shit. And then I was sitting, while I was doing that, right?
Hmm.
A lieutenant came one morning, woke me up. Clang, clang, opened the cell. Hey, I know what happened in 3 North. It was like, yo, I know what happened in 3 North. Tell me who did it. Da 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 da. Da. I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna tell you who did it, man. I don't know what he said exactly, but he did let me know that I think he was doing an investigation. I think they already had them niggas. Cause what he told me, I think what he told me was that yo, them niggas fucked somebody else up in there and they hurt him bad, right? And
Mhm.
so they went in there and they got them niggas, and so I think they was looking for more evidence. But I'm like,
I'm not. I don't want to be part of that
I'm
shit.
not involved in none of that shit.
Yeah, nah.
Mhm.
Last thing you need is any word that you help them in an investigation. Snitch. That's all that equals.
Nah, and then and then at the end of the day, man, even beyond that, this shit was just over. Like fucking, keep my name out your mouth. Like I ain't got nothing to do with what y'all doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit happened. Like that shit ain't gonna make nothing better for me. Y'all niggas didn't stop this shit from happening to me. Like,
I'm still fucked up. My jaw fucked up right now.
I'm
Like
good. Like I'm healing up right now. I'm all right. I don't need no new problems, nigga.
exactly.
Yeah, straight up and
Exactly.
down. So, that's how that shit went, man. I went through there. I think C-76 was probably 5 North was like I had a little crew. Like I was enjoying time because it was funny when this whole thing happened and even before prison, like when I was on the run, I noticed that if it wasn't a chick I was messing with, I really didn't have like a good friend. Like I had started to get into a zone. I had wrote in there in my audiobook Cell Therapy that I missed having just a good friend, like, and the motherfucker I chop
But
it up
yeah,
with, like,
I
I
remember
was
you
in
saying, "Why I can't have a good male friend?" When was the last time I had a good male friend?
yeah, like, and for niggas who ain't mature, not on no gay shit, just motherfucker, a motherfucking homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Diddy, you don't
Somebody
know
that I had
Diddy.
right a good vibe with, and we was talking about like I went through a long period because you know I, when I was on the island, it was just I ain't really click with nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of that had to do probably some of that had to do with how they was doing me with all that moving me around shit. But I
Hmm.
wasn't from nobody hood. I was, but from Flatbush. But that shit is in the Beacon. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
in Crown Heights a little bit, but I was young. Like I had been in the South for a couple years at the time. By the time I had gone there, so it was just it, and then I was also dealing with a situation and a circumstance that was unprecedented in my life, right? So I was off. I wasn't at ease and in comfort, and I just wasn't all the way myself. And it took a while to really get, what I'm saying, get myself back to the level of confidence, really beyond the level of confidence that I had on the street. But you know what I'm saying? That shit was a really character building situation, just the whole bid. And it was a lot I got from it. Probably could do a whole nother episode on a lot of these. I got plenty of prison stories, but you
Right.
know, want to definitely highlight in the audiobook Cell Therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all should
No.
check it
Moving.
out.
Definitely. I remember. You know, just going forward, because like as I was listening to it, it's. I mean, for someone who's listening to it at first, it might take a minute for them to get immersed into it. But once you do get into the groove, especially going towards the end, when you start listening to how you're expressing your like how you feel the connection being lost between you and Keisha, I believe, right? Is that her name?
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, he was expressing how you was losing the connection between her, and all the obstacles that was being placed in your way just to communicate with your son, and you start really living through those days with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. You know, the thing that made the thing that makes this the audiobook unique is that again, like I said, like I told exactly when the day that I started journaling was after that situation happened with the Bloods, and it wasn't something that I did for with the intention of ever having been shared with the public. It was something that I did really to keep my my head straight. Again, remember, I'm saying that I didn't have any friend. Like I didn't have a friend, a good friend. Like I, had, I knew niggas and all of that, and it was, you kick it with a nigga here and there, and have more or less of a rapport with niggas, but you all in jail, and you don't fucking know each other or really care about each other like that.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like I because of that, I didn't have an outlet, of course, for most my deepest thoughts. So I was
Yeah,
journaling.
most
So I
men don't.
started, right. So I started, and because I was in such a dark place, yeah, I could tell it was like a release valve because I ain't really done it again. I should. I always think I should, but that was something that I needed to do.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So I say that to say to highlight the fact that the shit just is just raw. It's just what I was really thinking every day as I lock in and write something about the day, right? So it's really like a walk through the whole experience with me.
Definitely was. I enjoyed it. I think anybody who checks it out will enjoy it as well. If interested in listening to shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have an interest in that shit, or you maybe even want to try to understand somebody who's been through any sort of penal experience and some of the things that because these was like my authentic thoughts and more I'm talking about I'm wondering why I fuck up so much and it's just all this different thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Like would authentically be running through niggas' minds a lot of time and honest assessments of
Yeah, you even had some
what
colorful
went.
characters in there. I remember you mentioned Ra, right? And Fizzy Woo.
Yeah, Fizzy
That's a
Woo.
crazy name though, but that
Yeah, this was this nigga's name. These blood niggas had some real colorful names. I'm telling you. Fizzy Woo, 9/11, goddamn,
that nigga it just happened. That nigga couldn't wait.
niggas name 9/11, nigga.
Man,
Yo,
that's crazy.
TKO. Yeah. Yo, niggas had some names now, but nigga Fizzy Woo, I remember when I met this nigga, I had just finished dealing with that whole blood situation, and I had to go to court. And I was still healing up, and we was in the holding pens, either on the way in or on the way out to court. I think it was on the way in, waiting to get back in the unit. And he looked at me. This nigga, this nigga was a big blood nigga from Eden Wall Projects, and he looked at me. He like, "Oh, niggas got at you." Huh? I'm like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And the way that he just came at me was different than I thought. I didn't expect it. He was like, yeah, that's why I keep the blase blah and on the, you know what I'm saying? Telling me I boof the scalpel and get the scalpel in and all this
Oh
other shit.
shit, nah,
Yeah.
nigga
When you,
putting.
yeah, when they call it boofing, when you put the joint in your ass and shit, when you put anything in there, the suitcase and that shit, that's what they used to call it back then. So like,
Damn.
nigga, and he just took a liking to me, you know what I'm saying, and fucked around, ended up in that nigga's unit soon after meeting him, and then we had our time together. This fucking nigga, he used to always be wanting phone calls and shit, but every nigga niggas always harassing each other for phone calls up there, trying to hustle up phone calls different ways. Borrow one, I give you one tomorrow. I'll pay you this. I give you a piece of chicken, something. You know what I'm saying? Always want phone calls.
Damn.
And dealing with a bunch of grimy niggas, sometimes that shit don't be working out how you want it to work out. But
Word.
fucking with Fizzy Woo, he used to look out because this nigga used to get weed and he paid me for them calls and weed. Hey, I was all right. Here you go. I ain't got nobody to call today, nigga. Yeah.
I'm glad you even kind of elaborated on that before we get off because as I was listening to it, I did remember when you was like, and Fizzy Woo was straight up with me, and I was like, what did he mean? That was in regards to the fact that the nigga would always ask you for the phone call, and he upheld his word. So
Yeah,
you ran into
exactly.
a lot of niggas who wasn't doing that. I assume, like,
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of niggas who, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'll pay you when we go to commissary if you give me a call today and you looking for these niggas for commissary and you know what I'm saying? Ducking and hiding and, you know what I'm saying? Put you in a situation where you need to, do something to a nigga and it's like, you got to figure out how much of that type of shit you going to let slide because one thing when you in an environment full of predators, they looking, they watching, they want to see weakness. One thing about a predator, man, and this is why these bitches, everybody out here be thinking everybody gets raped in prison or some shit. It's like, nah, you really niggas be knowing what monkey know what tree to climb. That's what they say in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
monkey
saying?
know
Like,
what tree.
yeah, when you dealing with predators, right? A predator ain't looking for a fight.
Right.
He really not a true predator. He
Not a
looking
true.
for an easy kill. You know what I'm saying? So, motherfucker gotta have a little sugar in their tank to start with for a lot of niggas to get targeted for that type of shit. Like if he look at you and he look at you and he think, this nigga going, cause you gotta understand like that shit get deep on a nigga. Like motherfucker violate the wrong the nigga. If a nigga had ever tried or violated me in such a way, nigga, I would never come out because my whole life would be devoted to killing this nigga in the most violent and brutal way possible.
Right.
So nigga they don't be wanting that type of drama, so they not gonna do that to certain. They see that shit in you, they like they looking for a nigga that already a little soft and sweet. You know what I'm
Nigga look
saying?
easy. Yeah,
You know what I
this
mean?
he might like it looking ass.
Right. So, you gotta always guard against um um giving the appearance of weakness. Because at the end of the day, you know, just because you give off an appearance of weakness doesn't necessarily mean that you weak. So what it is that you got to get your vibe right because you could be an all the way man, but you giving off a weak aura, and it'll bring problems to you. So getting back to the beginning where I was talking, some of where we was at before when I was talking about good dudes that I seen that had just a hard time in there. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta watch that aura that you give off, because if a nigga sense that you sweet, man, it could bring a lot of problems to you, even if you ain't on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't a sucker. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And you fuck around and encounter too much punishment. You might end up a sucker. So you got you gotta guard your grill in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But,
Thanks.
but
Thanks.
yeah, man, it was definitely a good one done. You know what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying?
I agree. This was a good conversation. I learned a lot. I'm pretty sure somebody listening, watching, they definitely, especially if you ain't never been in the system and you got all those stereotypes in your head about what's that. Because I mean, you was in, just just so we can reiterate it, you was at Rikers Island. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was at Rikers Island. Like, let's be honest, that's not no motherfucking walk in the park to place to be at. Like, you
Nah,
know, so
a lot of niggas
yeah.
wouldn't make it. And you know, there's a lot of rough places, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's a rough spot. A lot of people wouldn't make it there. So, you know, yo, that shit, gladiator school. That's what they used to call it. Gladiator school. That
I'm
shit
getting
was
it. Okay.
it'll get your mind right, nigga. It'll either break it or make it. One of the two.
One of the two, yeah. Facts.
Yeah. Well, it was always good chopping up with you, son.
Yes.
Heru the first son.
It's not rigged. It's good. Talking to you, Pops.
Father, the Son, the Trolley Ghost, man. We out. Peace, y'all.
Yo. Peace.
Oh, like and subscribe, all that good shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Y'all know. Come
That
on now.
shit,
Show some
help
love.
the algorithm. If you got something out of this, help me out, baby. Help a nigga out.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Help niggas out. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.